You see, competing in a pageant for me was more than about just beauty and looking good on the outside. It was about that inner glow. When you stand on nails, 108 nails, and you let it enter that skin of yours and you're bleeding. And when I had that experience with myself, you see, competing in a pageant for me was more than about just beauty and looking good on the outside. It was about that inner glow. It was tapping into that inner power and bringing that out. But power is something deep rooted in you. It is the ability to walk into those rooms, look people into their eyes, and tell them who you are and what is your worth. And that is where the power lies. And that secret came about during my transition periods. And those periods were the most rewarding to me. I would be eternally grateful for all these experiences I've had in my life. They've shaped me into being a woman who's not just powerful, but also somebody who accepted her inner glow and inner beauty. Now, having said that, I want to tell you all a secret. And it's something, I don't know, most of the people out there do it. But for me, it's rewarded me so much. When I wake up, I look into the mirror, and as cliched as it sounds, but the truth lies, it's in the affirmations. It's in those daily rituals when you wake up, that winner's mindset, that whatever comes your way today, you are going to conquer it. And why is that? Because you're a warrior. And who's a warrior really? Somebody who's powerful from the mind, from the heart, and from the soul. And that's where the secret to success lies. And where does the secret to success lie really? It's in your self-awareness. So guys, I want to tell you something really interesting, right? I don't know if you guys connect to this, but when I was growing up, there was a concept called self-awareness, which my grandfather taught me. And, I'd be busy dribbling basketball in the backyard of our lawn. And, he would just come in and walk out of the basketball court. And he would say, bring in awareness and then shoot. Bring in awareness and then shoot. And I'd keep wondering, what is Nana telling me, right? What is my grandfather telling me? And over the years, I realized when I was working and the kind of people I was meeting and the global exposure I got, that it was in those times when I actually tapped within, and I realized that if you can tap into the deepest core of who you are, that is where the place of self-awareness comes in. And so when you operate from that space, everything happens in your life in a form of synchronicity. And those were concepts that were actually taught by my grandfather. And I applied them in my day-to-day life up until the point when I went to college. And I realized that, there is a life that you could lead, which is a road traveled by most of the people. And there's a road that is less traveled. I was 17 years old and I came to a city, Mumbai, the city of dreams, not just to be a journalist, but also with something much more deeper within me. And that calling was to compete in a pageant. Now, for many of you guys, you all would be wondering, why pageants, right? It comes from a space, like I said, self-awareness. I was super athletic, I was super bold, I was fearless, I would play with the boys, but somewhere I felt a disconnect with my feminine side, because perhaps growing in a culture, an ecosystem, an environment that always taught women to protect herself, to safeguard herself, where could I unleash that woman in me, that very driven, beautiful, sensual woman in me? And I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm beautiful. I'm saying, oh, look at you. you are beautiful. And have you ever looked into yourself? When you wake up in the morning, do you look in the mirror and do you tell yourself, I am grateful for this very body and this very mind that I have. I am grateful for the life that I have been given, not just by my parents, but my family, my friends. Many a times and very often I hear people say words like, oh, it pains too much. Oh, what about the pain? What is pain? Pain is a concept and a construct created by your mind. And I can give you that as an example. When you stand on nails, 108 nails, your feet are on those nails, and you let it enter that skin of yours, and you're bleeding while you're standing on it. And when I had that experience with myself, I realized there was a moment when it was paining, it was hurting. But the moment I changed that inner dialogue of mine, it stopped paining me. It stopped hurting me. And why is that? Because I let my mind take over the body. And that is exactly where the rituals aspect of my life comes in. And I'd like to personally share it with you. Waking up in the morning, the first thing you do is have gratitude. You be grateful to the Almighty for who you are, where you are. If you have a journal, you pull out a journal, write 10 things that you'd like to achieve this week or during the day. And if it's too much, bring it down to 3. Because there's a secret that lies in number 3. And we all know Nikola Tesla vouched for the frequency number 369. Believe it or not, before I won my Miss India pageant and I went for Miss Universe, as a 14-year-old, every day in the morning, afternoon, and evening, I would repeat this word, that I will be a Miss India someday and I will represent India internationally on a global platform. Now, that could be any platform, right? That could have been me being a basketball player or me being a tennis star and playing for India. But life had different choices. Life had a different path for me. And when that came about, for about 5 or 6 years, I did that 369 method. And lo and behold, what I actually thought, what I actually felt, and what I actually worked towards came about. And that was not just one experience, right? From there, I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see what it meant to be on an international platform. Coming from an army background where my parents were in the Indian Army, I saw a very, very secure and a gifted life, a life filled with discipline. And you know what that discipline taught me is no matter where you're in the world, you need to have some discipline. And that doesn't mean you need to do 500 push-ups and 800 crunches a day. It's more than that. It's the discipline that you carry within you, that today when I wake up, I'm going to be the best. And that comes in due time, over the years. You learn it, you imbibe it. And that process taught me that you need to have a set of rituals. You need to have a set of discipline. You need to have a set of mindset to be that successful person. And pain? What is that really? I don't know. Do you?